Well, welcome back to our second interview with a coach of a St. Mary's sports team. This is first year head coach of the men's and women's track and field team at St. Mary's, Coach Jake Malm. So thanks for joining us here today, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just going to start out. I'm going to let you just kind of brag about yourself for a little bit. So obviously you were hired in October. I just want to know, what do you think sets you apart from the other candidates? What do you think made you the one they chose to take this job? I know you love to brag about yourself, so.
Oh gosh, I don't know. See, that's why they pay people to make these decisions, because I probably wouldn't be able to tell you, So I don't know. I think all I can say is maybe they liked something about my previous experience. Probably not the perfect coach, but apparently there was enough to get me hired here, and so I'll try to make good on what they saw in me, I guess.
And then along with that, so you were the recruiting coordinator at your old school, University of Dubuque. So what do you think is the most important part of recruiting to you? What do you think is the thing that gets the athletes here?
Honestly, I think it's just telling the truth. Like, I don't think that I don't believe in like selling or like, used car salesmen, like, hey, you absolutely want to be at St. Mary's. It's just being honest. Like, this is who we are. Like, some of you won't like it. Some high schoolers aren't looking to come to St. Mary's, and some people are. And so we just tell them exactly who we are as a school, as a team. If it lines up, great. If they want to be a part of a great track and cross country program, even better, because I think that's something that's going to separate us here. But yeah, just honesty, 100% of the time. I think that's probably the key.
Yeah, and something that I've already very quickly into your regime here is just the amount of social media presence that you've already brought is 100-fold of what it used to be. So what's the goal with posting that much on social media?
I appreciate that. I mean, I still feel like I don't do super great on social media, and I feel like our team probably needs to do a little bit better. So I appreciate that you think that it's a step up. But the goal for us, it's just like, I don't know, have fun, be visible, let people know kind of who we are behind the scenes. Like, we don't want to be in the business of just saying like, hey, here's meet results. Like, here's how fast somebody ran this weekend. It's like, what's the team like? What are the coaches like? All the stuff that you wouldn't be able to see just going on the website. All the stuff that, as an outsider looking in, like, what really is the program about? I think that's our goal with social media, is all that behind the scenes stuff. I think that's the cool stuff, and I hope other people can hopefully get a feel for that as well.
Yeah, and have you communicated at all with Donnie Netto about the social media, graphics or some sort of message that you want to get out there?
Yeah, Donnie's been great, because he was probably one of the first people I met here at St. Mary's, and I know he's super active with the athletic department's social media presence. And so, yeah, if we ever need something done graphics wise, it's literally send Donnie an email and he gets back to us within probably 5 minutes. It's incredible. So he's a big help for sure.
So you were at University of Dubuque, four-time USTF CCCA Assistant Coach of the Year. So what to you is the biggest difference you've noticed in becoming a head coach? Like, what's the biggest jump that you've experienced in your time here as head coach?
It's not too much of a difference, I guess. Because to be honest with you, like, my feeling, even when I was just an assistant coach and just kind of working with one event group in track, is I always really believed in the team aspect of the sport anyways. I never tried to get too wrapped up just in kind of like the small number of athletes that maybe I was directly responsible for. Like, I always wanted our program as a whole to do really well. And so I guess just like making that transition to head coach is that you have a little bit more, how do I put this? Just involvement in that overall process, like, when you're an assistant and you're working for somebody else that is the program's head coach, you want to do whatever you can to support that head coach. And now that I guess I have that role myself, everything that I believe in from a team standpoint with track and field and cross country, get to implement it now, full fold, where I was kind of doing it a bit as an assistant, but now it's get a chance to go all in, I guess, with some of this team stuff, which I'm excited about for sure.
Yeah, and to go along with maybe what you're trying to do as a head coach, what are some pillars that you want to instill in this team as you try to craft it in your image of what the team should be?
Sure. I would say the biggest one by far is we want our team, we want our student athletes to push themselves to kind of their limits or their best. So I hate using the term, we want to be the best that we can be. I think that that's a really cliche term, but it's cliche that a lot of people just say it and they don't follow through with action. And we want to be the program that actually follows through with action. We feel that when you're a student athlete in college or any level, high school, youth level, like your coaches might be the only people in your life that like really, push you to try to become more of yourself. I think your friends and your family, your teachers, like they all help, but I think it's a really unique relationship between an athlete and coaches, where a coach, we want to dig that little bit extra out of each individual on our team. And another kind of phrase that I always think of is like, we don't want our team to just be okay with being good or being good enough. Like we want to be really good or great, or kind of your own version of great, whatever that means. It's going to mean something different for every individual. And so, yeah, we just want to be able to pull that out. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable going to the limit like that and finding really like what you can do as a student athlete. And so this program and our coaching staff, like we want to help bring that out of everybody. That's our goal.
You competed at the Division I level at the University of Minnesota, and then have coached at the Division III level. And one thing I've noticed is I haven't noticed, especially in the track and field world, like as much discrepancy between talent levels as like football or basketball. So I think, what do you think is like the biggest discrepancy between the Division I level of track and field versus the Division II and Division III level?
Honestly, not much. I think that's a really good question, and a really big like misconception out there is I think there's a couple factors that go into it. I mean, when you're looking at Division I football, for example, you have the opportunity to go to school like for free, like absolutely for free. And so if you're really just big and fast and you're really talented, you can get a full ride to go play a sport in college. But that opportunity in track doesn't even exist at the Division I level. It's very rare to get your whole school paid for at the Division I level. And so you have talent across all the divisions, and you have people that compete Division III that are absolutely capable of being Division I. Just like you have people that might chase that kind of Division I, they think it's the best, but honestly, they, maybe it's not a good fit for them there. And maybe there's coaches at Division II or Division III level that would be better for them to help them get the best out of themselves. That's kind of the way I look at it. Is if you're a track and field athlete, like the stopwatch is the same. Division I, Division II, Division III, the timing is the same. The sand pit is the same. The tape measure is the same. And so I just encourage people, like, go where you think that you can be the best that you can be, because it might not be the Division I level, and it might not be the Division III level either. So just kind of depends on what you're looking for. But I don't think the talent level, I mean, you can go anywhere and be good. That's my belief.
Yeah, and then I took a little browse through your Twitter page and came across some opinions that I kind of want to ask about. Both have to do with coaching and track and field, but one that popped up was this little GIF of Clint Eastwood clearly in disgust. And you just said, "'Tis the season for coaches making their throwers do conditioning." So what do you have against making your throwers do conditioning?
It's like, I mean, throwers should be explosive. They should be fast. They should be powerful. And I just cringe every fall when I still hear coaches that they're out there running stadium stairs, or, they're running up and down the football field conditioning. Like they say they're getting in shape. I'm like, getting in shape for what? To be out of breath? Like, you're never going to be out of breath as a thrower. You got to be super fast and explosive for like 2 seconds. And so for me, Like that's week one. We're going to be fast and explosive. I don't need you guys running. I don't need you guys being tired. Tired for what? That's a pet peeve of mine for sure.
And then one last question. It seems like the meets that you may or may not be having in indoor are going to be dual meets. And you made it clear that you're a fan of dual meets. So what's with that?
I'm a big fan of dual meets. This kind of goes back to what I said before about just like believing in track as a team sport. I think that the sport of track and field, I'm kind of removing cross country. Cross country is a true team sport, but with track and field, I think that the sport is getting too wrapped up in the time or the mark or the distance, and that's all that matters. Like meets aren't keeping team scores. Meets aren't really concerning themselves with competition. Like I think that is one of the reasons that so many people enjoy other sports is the ability to compete against other people, compete against other teams. And I just think it'd be really cool in the sport of track and field if we did it like that, like dual meets, like you have a win and loss record. Every meet you're keeping score. I just think that would be a heck of a lot of fun rather than, you guys both, we're track athletes, you go home after a meet. Did you guys win the meet? That's what people ask you. Did you win the meet? And you're like, I don't know, because like that's not a part of our sport, unfortunately, but I think it should be. So if that might be the thing that I die upon as a coach, maybe by the time I'm 80 years old, we'll make track great again and make it a team sport head to head. I like that.
Thanks so much, Coach, and good luck this season.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.